We continue to follow the back and forth elected leaders are having about the Buffalo city budget. Earlier today, Senator Sean Ryan proposed a plan to plug the budget gap, but the acting mayor is calling it reckless. 2 on your side's Nate Benson is joining us now with the latest tonight.
It was just a few days ago when Senator Sean Ryan reiterated one of his criticisms of acting Mayor Scanlon's proposed 2025-26 budget.
You see in this budget they proposed, like there's gimmick after gimmick.
Referencing Scanlon's plan to sell city-owned parking garages and establish a 3% hotel bed tax. And at the time, I pressed him about what his plan to address the budget would be.
So how would you do better? I mean, if in a situation where you win the primary, win in November, well, how do you raise those revenues? What would you do?
First you got to figure out is how much are we bleeding? Like you got to be honest about how much we're bleeding.
And Sunday morning, the senator announced legislation that he says would fix a budget gap that he and others believe could exceed $70 million.
I'm introducing legislation to allow the Buffalo Control Board to issue deficit finance bonds.
Ryan says that will allow the control board to cover a possible $70 million budget gap and projected deficits for the next 4 years.
Authorizing the control board to issue the bond would stabilize the city's finances in the long term. The city will be able to use the reoccurring revenue sources, such as revenues from the city's parking ramps, which generate about $4.5 million a year, to pay for the bond over time.
Ryan says that the administration and Common Council have asked Albany for tools to address its budget woes.
So I'm here today giving them a responsible tool to close their budget gap.
Acting Mayor Scanlon, however, has a different opinion.
If I'm being honest, I think it's laughable.
Scanlon's budget proposals have been called gimmicks and one-shot revenue generators.
And then the senator turns around and wants to go out and borrow more money and incur more interest and more cost associated with it.
Senator Ryan compared the plan to
refinancing your mortgage. You know, you hit the reset button and you're allowed during that time to get yourself back on footing. And that's what the city needs.
Acting Mayor Scanlon also disagreed with that, calling the plan, you guessed it, a gimmick.
Anyone who's borrowed money knows there is interest associated with that. So he's just adding to the whole. So when you talk about gimmicky and one-time infusions of cash or one-time gimmicks, that's a prime example of it.
The Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority has its regular meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning. We will be there to follow up on some of these bold ideas for the city budget. On your side, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.